Good evening, I'm Dick Brennan.
And I'm Mary. Calvi, Christine, and Maurice are off. Tonight, Eric Adams has become the first sitting mayor of New York to be arraigned on federal criminal charges.
They appeared before a judge and pleaded not guilty to federal bribery, conspiracy, and campaign finance charges. And breaking tonight, a new development in the investigation around the administration. Chief advisor to Mayor Adams, Ingrid Lewis-Martin, and her phones seized by federal agents just a short time ago.
This is a live picture right now of Gracie Mansion, where the mayor has said he is going to continue doing the work for the city as he fights these charges. But some leaders question if they'll have the time. We have team coverage with reporters on all angles, starting with Alice Gaynor, who is live outside the courthouse. Alice.
The judge addressed and referred to Adams as mayor or the defendant. The entire proceeding lasted less than 20 minutes, and when it was all over, Adams went back to work. A thumbs up from New York City Mayor Eric Adams outside the federal courthouse, where he let his lawyer do the talking for him.
He's innocent.
Minutes prior, the mayor was arraigned on charges including bribery, fraud, and soliciting illegal foreign campaign donations, telling the judge, "I am not guilty, Your Honor." The more than 50-page indictment unsealed Thursday alleges Adams sought and accepted improper gifts like more than $100,000 in luxury travel and illegal campaign contributions from wealthy foreign business people and at least one Turkish government official.
This case isn't even a real case. This is the airline upgrade corruption case.
Illegal campaign contributions, it's alleged, came via straw donors, donors who contribute someone else's money to hide the illegal source. And those contributions led to $10 million in public matching funds to his campaign. In return for all of this, prosecutors allege Adams used his influence to pressure the FDNY to open a new high-rise housing Turkey's consulate in Manhattan, despite safety concerns.
The next week we'll be filing a motion to dismiss. We expect these charges to be dismissed.
Adams was released under conditions that he not contact any witnesses or individuals named in the indictment, with prosecutors saying they will reach an accommodation for him to talk to family and staff, but not about the allegations. And the mayor is due back in court on Wednesday. Mary, Dick?
Alice, I got to ask you, mayor in court, what was his demeanor like when he was sitting there?
When we walked into the courtroom, he was already sitting at the defense table with his attorney. He never turned around to look at anyone. He stared straight forward for the entire proceeding. When he got up to leave, we all had to remain seated in the courtroom as U.S. Marshals escorted him out. He looked at one court officer and smiled, but he did not look at anyone in the gallery. The courtroom was filled with mostly press.
Alice Gaynor, live from the courthouse. Alice, thank you. And let's bring in now political reporter Marcia Kramer.
Well, Mary and Dick, now many are wondering if the mayor can hang into his job and for how long. And this is Mayor Adams' version of the TV show Survivor. Call it Survivor Manhattan Island, where the challenges the mayor will face include swimming in the shark-infested waters of New York City. But it comes as the feds are keeping up the pressure, seizing the phones of his chief advisor, a woman who's been by his side for decades. Ingrid Lewis-Martin is often seen by Eric Adams' side. She is his chief advisor and has been with him since he was a Brooklyn state senator. Today, she became the latest member of his inner circle to have her phone seized by the feds. They reportedly served her a subpoena as she was returning from a vacation in Japan. She will cooperate fully with any and all investigations, said her lawyer, adding that she is not the target of any case of which we are aware. This has some questioned how long the mayor could survive the ongoing federal probes.
Until we hear from the mayor in terms of his response to the charges in the indictment, I don't think that anybody knows what his survival prospects are. I think we all hope the best for him, for our city.
As Eric Adams went about the business of being mayor today, including a visit to a Harlem senior center, there was much speculation about how long he would remain in office and whether Governor Hochul would remove him.
And I think the governor, the mayor's decision, the feelings of the business community are, if the city is staying stable while the mayor goes through what he's going through, I think that we're okay. If things fall apart, we got a problem.
Governor Hochul, who does have the power to remove Adams from office, called on the mayor to show the city he can still keep the city safe and deliver services. Sources telling CBS News New York it was a warning shot that the mayor needs to clean house and show he can regain the trust of the people.
It comes down to whether you can actually fulfill your job responsibilities. And that's a question the mayor is going to have to answer. But he has to be very reflective about it. He has to say, can I do my job?
Teachers Union President Michael Mulgrew voicing a concern shared by many.
We're talking only at this point about one investigation. There are still 3 others. So, you know, if you can't fulfill your responsibility, and I'm hoping that he understands that as an elected official, that responsibility comes way before your own self-thoughts.
With the list of administration officials having their phones seized growing by the day, the big question may be, who's next?
The big question.
It's a big question.
Yes. Marcia Kramer, thank you. Our coverage continues now. We go out to Gracie Mansion.
Jennifer Bisram is there with what the mayor was up to after that historic court appearance. Jennifer.
Hi, Dick and Mary. You know, the mayor pled not guilty at federal court this afternoon. He left the courthouse, gave everyone a thumbs up, and then it was back to business. He had 3 public appearances this afternoon, and New Yorkers who were at one of those events say he was all smiles.
Yeah. Shout out to all September birthdays.
And just like that, Mayor Eric Adams back at duty, attending a birthday celebration at a Harlem Senior Center Friday, hours after pleading not guilty to federal public corruption charges in Lower Manhattan.
He seemed to be happy, concerned.
He came in with great spirits, and the seniors at A. Philip Randolph loved him. Pictures, and he was in a great mood today.
The mayor all smiles, people in attendance saying a prayer for him.
We're about to pray for our mayor.
He says that he's innocent, and we all hope that he is. So we'll pretty much see the outcome of it.
Since the indictment, the mayor has been adamant the federal charges will not be a distraction to govern the city.
I think my emotions are tied up with most New Yorkers. It's a strange space to be in, a space of some confusion, and it's a little chaotic at times. And it's a really sad moment. This is not someplace that anybody wants to be in, including myself.
Public advocate Jumaane Williams asking the mayor to carefully consider New Yorkers during this time, as Governor Kathy Hochul and New York City Council Speaker Adrian Adams have.
Can you do the job of making government continue to run? And can you continue to exude trust for the people of the city of New York? Those are questions that I'm hoping the mayor is really grappling with in earnest.
If the mayor steps down or is removed from office, the public advocate would step in as acting mayor until a special election is held.
When you run for public advocate, this is a part that could happen. It has never happened, so it's not something you're expecting to happen. And it's not something I want to happen, because that means that the city is in a space of confusion and chaos.
And since we've been here at Gracie Mansion this afternoon, we've seen the mayor's SUV come and go at least twice. Again, several members of the city council asking the mayor to step down. At this hour, the mayor says he has no plans on doing so. We are live from Gracie Mansion. Jennifer Bisram, CBS News, New York.
Jennifer, thank you. And our coverage continues now with Hofstra University law professor James Sample.
Professor Sample, thank you so much for joining us. Lots of questions, not that much time, but we're going to ask you anyway. The Adams legal team wants to move to have this case dismissed, perhaps by next week. What are the chances of that happening in a federal court?
It's good to be with you, Dick and Mary. The short answer to that question is there is 0 chance that the motion to dismiss next Wednesday will be granted. When you consider all of the recent searches, the evidence seizures, and administration resignations, and as recently as you've just reported, as today with one of his closest advisors, Ingrid Lewis-Martin, as she deplaned being met by law enforcement officials and being served with search warrants and subpoenas, Mayor Adams may famously have swagger, but the prosecutors have search warrants and subpoenas, and there's going to be more flipping going on at City Hall than an amusement park. There will be a lot of evidence. There's no way this is dismissed Wednesday.
Professor, the mayor and his attorney are dismissing this as a case about airline upgrades that happen all the time. Do they have an argument there?
I think they have a good argument in terms of the court of public opinion, Mary, which is to say that when the average New Yorker hears about an airline upgrade or even a luxury hotel room, when we're talking about New York City's top official, there's a little bit of a yawn, but the real meat of this case is not about the upgrades. And the real meat of this case is that Mayor Adams abused, allegedly, the matching funds program via straw donors and via foreign donors. When you're talking about foreign money and money being channeled through straw donors to defraud the New York City campaign finance matching system to the tune of $10 million potentially, that's cheating, it's illegal, and it causes and it victimizes the very people who live in the city of New York for whom Mayor Adams claims he's fighting.
But we have had cases like Brian Benjamin, who had been the lieutenant governor, resign, and then all of a sudden the case was overturned. You know, Adams' lawyer made that point today.
Yeah, no, there's no question that proving public corruption has gotten harder and harder over the last 15 years, Dick. When you look at Supreme Court cases and recent memory, you've got to be able to establish mental awareness and that there was an actual quid pro quo, that the donors got something in return. It's not an easy case to prove, but there's no way this case is being dismissed anytime soon.
Hofstra University Law Professor James Sample, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, James. And on our website, we have posted the full indictment plus the breakdown of who's who in the investigation. That's on cbsnewyork.com.